Stop buying massive TVs. You're literally lighting money on fire when you could get a screen twice the size for half the price. Most people think getting that crisp, IMAX-level experience in their living room costs 10 grand and requires a degree in engineering. That is a total lie. The reality is we are living in the golden age of home cinema and the prices have finally crashed down to earth. But there is a massive trap waiting for you. The market is flooded with cheap garbage that claims to be 4K, but actually looks like a blurry mess from 2005. I've spent the last few weeks testing the top contenders to figure out which ones actually deliver the goods. I'm talking about projectors that are sharp enough to see the pores on an actor's face and bright enough to handle a little bit of sunlight. I found one projector on this list that costs less than a decent laptop, but honestly looks better than most OLED TVs I've seen. The truth about affordable 4K. Before we look at the first model, we need to have a quick heart-to-heart about what 4K actually means in the budget world. If you look at a $20,000 Sony projector, that is what we call native 4K. It has a massive chip inside with 8 million tiny mirrors. The projectors we are looking at today use a brilliant little cheat code called pixel shifting. Basically, the projector takes a smaller chip and vibrates it back and forth millions of times per second, faster than your eyes can see, to create a 4K image. Why am I telling you this? Because snobs on the internet will tell you it's fake 4K. Don't listen to them. Unless you are watching with a magnifying glass pressed against the wall, you cannot tell the difference. This technology is the only reason we can talk about 4K projectors under 2 grand instead of taking out a second mortgage. ViewSonic PX701-4K. Let's kick this off with the one that genuinely shocked me when I saw the price tag. This is the ViewSonic PX701-4K. If you are just dipping your toes into the projector world and you are terrified of spending too much money, this is your safety net. It is usually sitting right around the $900 mark, sometimes even less on sale. For that price, you usually get garbage. But this thing is a cannon. It pumps out 3,200 ANSI lumens. To put that in plain English, it is bright, really bright. Most entry-level projectors look like ghosts the second you turn on a lamp in the room. The image washes out and you're left squinting. The ViewSonic fights back. You can actually watch sports on this thing on a Sunday afternoon with the blinds open and you can still see the ball. The colors are punchy and the sharpness is legit. When I fired up Top Gun, Maverick, the cockpit scenes were razor sharp. You could read the text on the instrument panels, but we have to talk about the trade-off. Every budget projector has an Achilles heel, and for the ViewSonic, it's the black levels. When you're watching a deep space scene or a horror movie with lots of shadows, the blacks look more like dark gray. It doesn't give you that infinite, inky darkness you get from a high-end TV. Also, the fan can get a little loud if you run it in bright mode. It sounds a bit like a laptop that's working too hard, but if you have a soundbar or speakers, which you definitely should because projector speakers are always trash, you won't notice it. For the money, this is the best entry point into 4K, period. BenQ TK710ST. Now, let's pivot. What if you aren't just watching movies? What if you want to play Call of Duty or Elden Ring on a 120-inch screen without it looking like a slideshow? Usually, projectors are terrible for gaming. There's this thing called input lag. You press the button on your controller, and half a second later, your character jumps. It feels muddy and slow. It ruins the game. Enter the BenQ TK710STI. This is the gamer's dream, and it just got a massive upgrade. This model replaces the older TK700STI, and the big news here is that BenQ ditched the traditional light bulb. This is a laser projector. Why should you care? 2 reasons. 1, you never have to worry about the bulb burning out. It's rated for 20,000 hours. You could watch a movie every single day for the next 10 years and still be fine. 2, the laser gives you way better contrast and colors than the old lamp versions. The blacks are deeper and the image just pops more. But the real magic is the speed. BenQ managed to get the lag down to about 4 milliseconds if you play at 1080p 240 Hz or roughly 16 milliseconds at full 4K 60 Hz. That is insanely fast. It feels just as snappy as playing on a high-end gaming monitor. I played a few rounds of a shooter on this and the response was instant. The other trick is in the name. ST stands for short throw. Here is the problem a lot of you have. You live in an apartment or a smaller room. Standard projectors need to be placed way back, like 10 or 12 feet away from the wall to get a big image. The BenQ is a short throw wizard. You can place it just 5 or 6 feet away from the wall and still get a massive 100-inch picture. It's perfect for coffee tables. You plop it down, plug in your PS5 or Xbox, and boom, you have a laser gaming arena. The colors are accurate right out of the box, covering 95% of the Rec 709 spectrum. The downside, because it's a short throw, it doesn't have a lot of zoom or lens shift flexibility. accessibility. You have to place the projector pretty much dead center in front of the screen. You can't put it off to the side on a shelf, but for the gaming performance and that sweet laser engine, it is absolutely worth the setup. The elephant in the room. Before we get to the next pick, I need to address the biggest mistake people make. I see this in comments all the time. People buy a $1,500 projector and shine it on a bumpy beige wall. Stop doing that. You're killing your image quality. A wall has texture and paint eats light. If you're buying any of these projectors, take $200 out of your budget and buy a fixed frame screen. Even a cheap white screen from Amazon will double your perceived quality. If you use a beige wall, your color accuracy goes out the window immediately because the projector is adding beige to every color it shows. A $500 projector on a screen looks better than a $2,000 projector on a wall. Epson Home Cinema, $2,350. Okay, moving on. We need to talk about technology for a second. The first two projectors I mentioned use a tech called DLP. It's sharp and fast, but some people, a small number of you, might see something called the rainbow effect. It's where you see quick flashes of red, green, and blue when you move your eyes fast. If you are sensitive to that, or if you just want colors that pop like crazy, you want the Epson Home Cinema 2350. Epson uses 3 LCD technology. There is no color wheel, so there are no rainbow flashes. But the real reason this thing is on the list is the brightness and the color volume. LCD projectors are amazing at pushing out color brightness. Sometimes, with other projectors, white looks bright, but red and blue look dim. On the Epson, the colors are just as bright as the white light. It makes animated movies look absolutely bananas. Watching Spider-Man. Across the Spider-Verse on this thing was a spiritual experience. The colors were practically vibrating off the screen. It's also smart. It comes with Android TV built in, so you don't necessarily need a Roku or a Fire Stick hanging out the back of it. However, we have to keep it real. The black levels on this specific model are just okay. It's designed for a living room where there might be a little bit of ambient light, not a pitch black cave. And the build quality feels a little plastered plastic. It doesn't feel like a premium piece of machinery. It feels a bit like a toy. But once the lights go down and the movie starts, you won't care about the plastic casing. You'll just be staring at those gorgeous colors. XGIMI Horizon Pro. Now, let's talk about the lifestyle choice. Some of you don't want to mount a heavy box to your ceiling. You don't want to run 50 feet of HDMI cable through your walls. You want something that looks good sitting on a shelf, has everything built in, and just works without a hassle. That is the XGIMI Horizon Pro. This thing looks like a piece of modern art. It's a sleek metal cube. It doesn't look like office equipment, and the user experience is like the Apple of projectors. It has this feature called intelligent screen adaptation. You point it at the wall and it automatically focuses, finds the screen borders, and straightens the image. It even avoids obstacles. If there is a light switch or a plant in the way, it will shrink the image to fit around it. It does all of this in like 5 seconds. The sound is actually decent too. It has Harman Kardon speakers built in. Are they going to replace a surround sound system? No, but are they better than every other projector on this list? Yes, by a mile. You can actually watch a movie with just a projector audio and not feel like you're listening through a tin can. The picture is crisp 4K LED powered, which means the bulb lasts forever, like 25,000 hours. You will probably replace the projector before the light burns out. The catch? It's not the brightest torch in the shed. It claims 2,200 lumens, but in the real world, it's a bit dimmer than the ViewSonic or the Epson. This is strictly a lights-off projector. If you try to watch this at noon with the windows open, you're going to have a bad time. And it doesn't support Netflix natively. You have to use a workaround or plug in a stick, which is annoying for an all-in-one device. Optoma UHD38X. We've covered the gamer, the budget king, the color master, and the smart one. But what if you just want raw, unadulterated power? The Optoma UHD38X is the muscle car of this list. It boasts 4,000 lumens. That is a massive number. This is the daylight fighter. If you have a living room where you can't completely block out the sun, or you like to have football games on while people are hanging out with the lights on, this is your weapon of choice. It cuts through ambient light like a knife. It retains color and contrast even when the room isn't perfectly dark, and it handles motion beautifully. It runs at a high refresh rate up to 240 Hz if you drop the resolution down to 1080p, which makes it a secret weapon for PC gamers who want insane frame rates. But like a muscle car, it runs hot and it can be a little rough around the edges. The menu system feels like it's from 1998. It's clunky and ugly. And out of the box, the colors lean a little bit green. You have to go into the settings and tweak the tint to get the skin tones looking human again. Once you dial it in though, the image is spectacular for the price. It gives you that crisp, detailed 4K look that makes nature documentaries jaw-dropping. You see every individual leaf and blade of grass. The climax? It's not just about specs. So, We have these 5 machines, but here's the secret that the spec sheets won't tell you. You can obsess over lumens and contrast ratios all day long, but the best projector is the one that fits your room. If you buy the Optoma, the bright one, and put it in a pitch black dedicated theater room, it's actually going to hurt your eyes. It's too bright. The blacks will look gray because it's pumping out too much light. Conversely, if you buy the XGIMI, the dimmer, pretty one, and put it in your living room with white walls and windows, you won't see anything. It will look washed out and sad. You have to match the tool to the environment. If you have a dedicated man cave or theater room that gets pitch black, go for the BenQ TK710STI or the Epson 2350. You don't need the excessive brightness, and you'll appreciate the laser precision or the LCD color depth. If you are in a living room with white walls and some light leakage, you need the Optoma UHD38X or the ViewSonic PX701-4K. You need that raw power to punch through the light. And if you are a renter, a student, or someone who wants to move the projector from the bedroom to the backyard for a movie night, get the XGIMI Horizon Pro. The ease of use beats everything else. Let's recap so you don't have to take notes. Number 1, the ViewSonic PX701-4K. It is the value king. It proves you don't need to be rich to have a cinema. It's loud, it's basic, but the picture is undeniable for the price. Number 2, the BenQ TK710STI. If you own a PS5 or Xbox Series X, buy this one. It's laser powered, it's low lag, and it fits in small rooms perfectly. Number 3, the Epson Home Cinema 2350. If you hate the idea of the rainbow effect and you want colors that scream off the screen, this is your guy. Number 4, the XGIMI Horizon Pro, the plug-and-play hero. No wires, no setup headaches, just a great picture in a beautiful package. And number 5, the Optoma UHD38X, the light cannon. Perfect for sports, perfect for living rooms, and perfect for fighting the sun. Remember, the goal isn't just to watch a movie, it's to feel it. A TV is an appliance, a projector is an event. When you dim the lights and that massive screen lights up, it changes the vibe of the entire house. It turns a Tuesday night Netflix binge into a premiere.